Hello, this is Shane Elks with Creating Frequencies. Today I'd like to discuss something that can be from therapist to therapist, or educator to educator, or from a parent to parent, or just a person to person. The discussion I'd like to talk about today is meeting the client or meeting a person where they are. A lot of times we have so many ideas and we have so many plans, and we've worked out all of these techniques that we've learned and everything that we want to apply to a certain situation, and we walk into that situation and we see a client there, or we are talking to our child and they're not having it. They could care less about what we have to say. They're not feeling it. They're not there where we are. Well, that's the first part of the problem, is we should not go in expecting anything. We should go in observing. We should go in open and willing to be with that person and to allow that person to lead us instead of us trying to lead them. The very first time that I started working with children with behavioral needs, I had no idea what to expect. I was kind of thrown into a situation where the child in the situation was showing some of the most extreme behaviors, and I was just kind of thrown into the situation. I let that child lead where we were going. If they wanted to color, we colored. If they wanted to sing, we sang. And as the time went on and the days went on, I was able to learn more and more about that child, and we were able to bond. And it was probably the most important relationship, career-wise and personally, as far as working through the arts and working in a therapeutic setting, that I have ever had, because it taught me so much. It taught me to shut up. It taught me to listen. It taught me that a child is very capable of making their own decisions and will make their own decisions, and that I can try all I want to, but the person that should be the main focus here is not what I want for the person. It's that person and what they are feeling and what they're going through. We have learned, kind of therapy 101 or working with in education 101 through in a therapeutic setting, is you meet the client where they are. Meaning, you don't go into, if I'm doing a music therapy or music is therapy, and I walk in and I'm playing this happy music, and the person is sitting there and they're obviously down and out, then I'm insulting them. And we work off of frequencies, and later I will discuss about sound therapy and things like that in other videos. But if we walk in with attacking almost their frequency, or a huge different frequency than they are, then we're not trying to connect with them. We are imposing our own frequencies upon them. And that is something that us as educators, as parents, as teachers, therapists, what have you, we have to stop doing that in order to get through to these students. We have to stop imposing what we want for them and what we want out of them, and meet them where they are. It's been proven that teenagers especially, but children, they don't respond to the regular, therapy session where we sit there and we ask question after question, or we are always, giving them the response of, oh, why do you hate yourself? You shouldn't hate yourself. You're so wonderful. They don't, that's not about them. Us saying, oh, you're the best person in the world, well, guess what? At that time, they don't feel that way. and that's not necessarily what they want to hear. It's what we're wanting them to hear. What we need to do is shut up, and we need to pay more attention to the client. If I'm walking into a session and instead of, if I walk in and I say, hey, and they're not responding, then maybe I'll put on a slow song. Maybe I'll play just something soft. Maybe I'll tinker around on the piano with something a little more, you know, legato and slow tempo. As you get to know a client, then one of the first things you should know is what is their favorite song. What are their favorite go-to things? And sometimes that can be all they need you to do, is just meet them where they are and play their favorite song for them and let them be. And then, have a conversation with them. Your conversation doesn't have to be, and how do you feel today? And how does that make you feel? Most of the teenagers I talk to, what they say they hate about therapy is the question, how does that make you feel? It really makes them mad. And the more that we can stop saying that to them and just have a regular conversation with them, the more we're going to be able to be there for them and meet them where they are and really understand where they are. Working in the arts and working through the arts as therapy, you can find so much out of your client and a student by just helping them create and showing them means of channeling their emotions and getting it out in other ways. And I can't tell you how many times I've been working with somebody who's nonverbal, who can't tell you how they feel. And they show you how they feel by what they create on a piece of paper through paint, or they mold with clay, and that's their state of frustration, and they take that frustration and they stab it with their molding tool or whatever have you. That is therapy, showing them how to cope and how to deal with their feelings instead of constantly trying to lead them to a different state. We should show them that it's okay to feel what they're feeling and meet them where they are and stop imposing on them what we wish for them and start listening to what they have to say or taking in what they're showing you. If we could spend more time planning on how to calm our frequencies to a state that we can actually allow the client to lead us, to allow the client to be the main frequency in the room, then we can understand our client more and be there for our clients or our children or our students a lot more than we can walking in with all these plans of this is what we're going to do today and this is how I want you to feel. Empathy, we'll talk about empathy at another time, but remember, there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is more, it's something different. When you're empathetic, you're actually listening to what someone says. You're actually just being there for them. You're allowing them to feel. And the main part of a therapy is helping with their well-being and their mental health. And if you're constantly blocking their feelings or you're trying to take their feelings and mold them into something else, you're not being therapeutic. You're being selfish. If you are allowing them to express and you are allowing them to feel without fear and you are being there for them, then you're being therapeutic. And then you can show them ways to cope with that. And then you can go on a journey with them of finding different ways to deal with those feelings. Not change them, but to deal with them, to face them. This is a little longer video than I normally do, but it's something I'm kind of very passionate about. I think I like to approach a therapeutic setting in a different way than a lot of other therapists do. Um, and I hope that some of the things I say can help people. But one of the main things that I hope that most of us do is spend a little bit more time listening and being there for others instead of imposing on them what we wish they would feel or hope that they feel. This has been Shane Elks with Creating Frequencies, and I'll see you next time. Bye.